First of all, we have to answer the simple question. People want to be refugees. People want to leave their homes, sometimes their families, their children, and go some other way to work. In the functioning of WFTU, there is no any kind of discrimination among men and women fighters. They are all fighters, equal fighters.
Hi everyone, myself Sangeeta Shamnath. I am representing Janayugom for an interview of a great person. His name is Comrade Pampis Kyritsis. He is the General Secretary of WFTU and the Fraternal Delegate of 42nd aituc National Conference. We got an interview of him. Let's begin.
Comrade, I have very few questions. My first question is, exploitation of corporates is in every sector. So the accumulation of wealth is improving the wealth of billionaires only. Poor people getting more poorer. So what is the role of trade unions to change this economic inequality?
Yes, you are right. This is the reality, of course, not only in India, all over the world. Rich become richer, poor become poorer. This is the result of the attack of the bourgeois class to the trade union rights, to the trade union freedoms, to the salaries, to the collective bargaining and the collective agreements. This is the result of the crisis of capitalism, which nowadays is getting deepened and is strengthening, unfortunately, because the one crisis is following the other. They take as a pretext the coronavirus, the COVID, to attack to the trade union rights and to the democratic freedoms. Now, they want from the workers to pay the bill for their war between NATO and Russia and Ukraine, and they want to put this bill on the shoulders of the working people. In our approach, in our spirit, the only dignified path is the path of the struggles. The working class have to resist by struggles, by solidarity, by internationalism, and this resistance have to be worldwide, global. This is the message that we are giving to the 42nd aituc Congress. The message that we have to stay united, class-oriented, away from unions, yellow unions which are connected with the interests of the capitalists, corruption unions, because unfortunately we just follow that the recent elected Secretary General of the ITUC, the other international trade union, arrested for a corruption scandal, and a scandal which is linked with the death of 1,000 people in Qatar because of the horrible working conditions. So this is another task for us to fight also for trade unions without bureaucracy, without connection with the interests of the employers and the capital, for trade unions without corruption. Uh, we are coordinating all over the world this struggle. We believe that the working people resist in these policies. They refuse to pay the bill. There are struggles all over the world of this moment. And we believe that also AITUC of India, after its Congress, will become more powerful, more united to help the working people here in India, but also the international class-oriented trade union movement to go forward.
So, how are you observing the refugee issues? What is your opinion regarding, WFTU's opinion regarding the labor issues of these migrants?
First of all, we have to answer the simple question. People want to be refugees. People want to leave their homes, sometimes their families, their children, and go some other way to work. No, they don't. But they forced to do it by different reasons. Somewhere there are imperialistic wars that is a result of the intervention of outside forces, and they have to live to solve their lives. Sometimes they are economical immigrants because they cannot have a dignified life they born. Unfortunately, in this barbaric system, these people, when they go to the other countries, they want to exploit them. They want to make them cheap labor to increase their profits. Of course, there is racism in the behavior in the countries that they welcome them, but on the other hand, they use them as cheap labor. So WFTU has this issue as a high priority because, first of all, it's a matter of human behavior. It's a matter of culture. It's a matter of fight against racism and fascism. But on the other hand, it's a matter also of undermining the living standard of all workers by using the cheap labor as a tool to destroy the collective agreements and the labor rights for all the workers. If there are workers weak, workers without rights, without protection, all the workers are weak and without protection. This is our slogan. Because the capitalists will exploit this weak for their own interest, to separate the workers, to make them unorganized and without real power in the issue of collective bargain. So for us, refugees, immigrants are workers. We have to include them in our unions. We have to organize them. We have to fight all together for collective agreements regulated work with rights, with social protection for everyone. This is the only democratic, humanistic, and correct future for the workers, even they are refugees, even they are immigrants, even they are not, for everyone. Against racism, against fascism.
India is a country having patriarchal values. So, Comrade Amarjit Kaur, our General Secretary, is right now she is the Vice President of WFTU. So, what is your opinion about these gender barriers?
AITUC is one of the foundation organizations of WFTU, but not only that, it is one of the one of the pillars on its WFTU is built, because AITUC, it is the biggest trade union, or almost the biggest in the WFTU affiliates, with a great history, constructed with positions that can help not only the movement in India, but also the movement, the progressive and the left-wing movement, and the trade union, class-oriented movement all over the world. So we are very happy, first of all, that we had the opportunity to be here, to attend the Congress, and to transfer the message of solidarity and internationalism of WFTU, but on the other hand, to come closer to the daily action of this great union. And of course, we are very happy that we see that Comrade Amarjit, she's catching very stable the leadership of the AITUC, and we see that this historic union is united, militant, and we are happy because this is the spirit of the WFTU, the spirit of unity, the spirit of militant struggles, the spirit of class orientation, the spirit of internationalism and solidarity among the workers. As I understand, Comrade Amarjit will keep this role, will continue in this leadership post, and we are very happy about that.
A Turkish singer, Helen Bolak, starved to death after 288 days of hunger strike. In Iran, Mahsa Amani, she has just 22 years old. She died after she arrested by the morality police of Iran. How do you look into the feminine activism around across the world?
WFTU, in its Congress decision of the last Congress in Rome last May, have given a very specific focus in the issue of the working women problems and priorities. And we have already created a working women committee inside the WFTU, to help the leadership about the issues, about the policy, about the decisions which have to do with the women issue. It's clear that working women are double exploited as workers. They are exploited as workers because their production become profit for the masters, for the capitalists, as for all of the workers, the same. But they are also exploited as women because the starting point for them is much behind that the men. This is the truth, the reality. And we have to change this reality. We have to fight with this reality. First of all, of course, by organize the women in the working women in the unions, by create the situation, struggle and action, men and women workers for their same goal, which is to change the system, to change the exploitation system. But also we have to work to promote the women issues, the issue of equality, the issue of eliminate the taboos and the rules which are keeping the women behind. Nobody have to stay behind. All of us, all of the workers, women and men, we have to have the same starting point, the same rights, and we need to change the rules. Of course, we need to change the system first of all, but also the approach and the culture about the women rights. And in the functioning of WFTU, there is no any kind of discrimination among men and women fighters. They are all fighters, equal fighters.
Human labor is being replaced by the artificial intelligence to a great extent. In developing countries where unemployment rate is very high, it can create a lot of social tension. Decrease in human workforce can have adverse impact on the union movement. So what's your view about it?
Of course, first of all, we are progressive people. And our ideological and political principles are principle for the progress of the humanity. And we are supporting the scientific progress. This scientific progress creates possibilities for better life for the people. But what is happening? This is the issue. If the progress of the science becoming just a path for increasing the profits of a very small part of the society and make the richer, as we said before, but for the simple workers, for the simple people, this scientific progress sometimes is becoming as an enemy because they lose their jobs. They are becoming under pressure to reduce their rights if they cannot have benefits, and they cannot share the benefits of the scientific progress. That means that something is not functioning correct. And at the end of the day, the issue is who is going to have a benefit, who is going to win from the progress of the scientists. If it will be just step for more and more huge properties for some people and some countries, but for the big majority of the society, if this will be a pretext for decreasing their working conditions and the working rights, so that we have to be very, very careful, and we have to be very with a class orientation to manage this important issue. WFTU, class-oriented trade union movement, face this issue from the perspective of the working class, and we demand the artificial intelligence and all the scientific progress to become a benefit for the society, for the workers, not only for the rich people, for the bourgeois class, for the profits. And this is one of the most usual issue of struggle and strikes at this time. If you watch what is happening all over the world, a lot of struggles are starting and increasing around this issue. How to protect the workers' rights, and how to assure that this scientific progress will not function against the majority of the society, against the social protection, against the human and working rights.
In India, we have a government which is completely support the corporates, a fascist government. So they are privatizing public sector. They are suppressing all the labor laws and all the rights of the trade unions. So what's your observation regarding this?
This is something we have seen it in other places of the planet earlier. For example, in Europe, from which I come from, this procedure of privatization of neoliberal measures which destroy the cohesion of the society, we have seen them earlier. And they are coming in India and in Africa and other. Is the neoliberal capitalistic attack against the social rights and the working rights all over the world. By this way, they exploiting more part of the national income. They can find more virgin areas to increase their profits, and at the same time they creating conditions to exploit the labor much more than in the past, by destroying the collective agreements, the collective bargaining, the labor rights, by destroying gains we had as workers gain with very tough and hard struggles in the past, with sometimes with blood, and now they try by this way to get back for their interest, for more exploitation of the labor of the workers. They try to get back these gains. For example, the 8 hours working per day, they try to destroy it. They destroyed the stability and the permanent work. They try to make the working conditions so-called flexible, no social protection, no social social security. So it is clear that there is no any other way. There is no any other path. The only path is struggle, is organizing the workers, resist to this attack, change the balance of power, re-attack back to protect, first of all, what we have gained until now, but also to demand for satisfaction of the today needs of the workers, the today needs, because we have to fight to να κερδίσουμε the λαλούμες for the struggle have to be for satisfaction for the contemporary needs of the workers, and these contemporary needs are not only for salary, but also for the social protection, also for the culture, for the participation in the real life by increasing the quality of the life of the people. This is what we have to do, to fight for these demands.
Regarding the Russia-Ukraine war, most of the countries blame Russia. What's your observation regarding this war?
The,
War, Russia-Ukraine war.
okay. I think the situation is more simple. Somebody maybe believes. The first question is who is paying the bill? Who is suffering? And the people is paying the bill in both countries. This war, of course, it's a result of the international antagonists, and these antagonists, as we know, are not only for the moral, it's also for the roots of the energy, for the ports, for the seas, for the control. Okay, but it's a little bit ridiculous if you hear the United States and NATO and European Union to try to show that they are fighting for the human rights and that this war is the war among the liberals and the authoritarians. We know what is NATO, we know what is the behavior of the United States. They have so many interventions in the world, they have created so many wars, so much blood we have seen because of their interventions, imperialistic behavior. So it's a little bit joke if the hawks try to appear as pigeons. It's clear for us that in Ukraine they support nationalists and fascists just to make the game as they believe that it is for their interest. And they don't say anything about the need of real stable peace all over the world without NATO, without these military coalitions. So WFTU is fighting for peace, but peace permanent, stable, for the dissolution of NATO and all the military coalitions, for the abolition of nuclear weapons. But we know that this kind of peace needs to change the international balance of power, to change the whole international relationship system, which is system connected with the imperialistic interests, as we have seen this a lot of times last 50 years. Palestine, Yugoslavia, Iraq, Afghanistan, Cyprus, Yemen, so many places. So, on the other hand, of course, I have to be clear. we don't agree that the invasion of Russia in Ukraine was a good choice for solving any kind of problem. No, we are against the war and we are against the invasion. But we don't have the same analysis about the reason of the words and about the way that the war have to stop. And of course, the most important at this moment for us is that the United States, NATO, European Union, they want to make this war, but this war be paid by the people by increasing the prices, by the prices of the daily necessary goods, by the energy poverty, by push much more problems on the shoulders of the working class and generally the weak part of the society. So we demand the war to stop, but not with the same analysis and with the same goals and targets as the Americans and the European Union and the NATO want to manage this issue. For us, it is issue of struggle against the imperialistic interventions in generally, and stable peace and just among the countries globally. And this is what we fight for.
Comrade, deliver a message to the entire working class across the world, for the entire mankind.
A message to the
Working class?
okay. Our message is the message of internationalism and solidarity, first of all. This is the main duty of our trade union federation, to coordinate the struggles all over the world, to organize the international trade union to become more effective and to find the power to stop these attacks, to change the balance of power, to fight, to demand, to gain more rights and better future for the working class, for us and for our children and our grandchildren, because we are not fighting only for this generation, but also for the next generations. So the message is that workers have to stay united, have to be organized, have to understand that nothing is going to come by praise. But the better future, the just future will come with struggles and with mass organized, well prepared fights in every corner of the earth. This is our way to make the future better for the working class and for the generations that will come in.
Thank you so much, comrade, for your time. Revolutionary greetings from aituc. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time, and because you have the kindness to make this interview and to give us the opportunity to transfer the message of our International Trade Union Federation. Thank you very much.